What's going on, guys? SmallGuard here, back with another video, and today I'm going to be giving you guys my brand new guard academy. I'm going to have everything you need to know about playing point guard in one video. I'm going to have all the best builds for my small and tall point guards, brand new tips, new jump shots, new sigs, and even a new dribble tutorial as well. So make sure you guys go ahead and watch the entire video. In my recent video, I did do a $50 gift card giveaway because we just hit 50k subs, and shout out to the winner of the giveaway being Tana. If you guys want another giveaway, let's go ahead and get 1500 likes on the video. If you're new, go ahead and hit that sub button, hit that like button, and turn on post notifications. I hope you guys enjoy the video, and let's get right into it. Now, one of the very first things you want to go in and do is turn off your shot meter and turn on your shot feedback to all shots. It's been a very known thing now in NBA 2K for a while that when you turn your shot meter off, you're going to get a boost to your green window. And whenever you're playing NBA 2K, you want the biggest green window possible. And the reason why I'm going to say to turn your shot feedback to all shots is because when you have it on simple, you're not going to be able to know what shots you're taking and what shots are going to be good and bad shots. And by knowing your shot quality, you're going to know what shots are going to be bad and good shots. So make sure you go in and turn this on. Now, moving over here to my controller settings, you want to go in and turn your shot timing visual cue to push. Now, you can go ahead and put it on release, but I like using push the best. And moving down here to another great setting you're going to need to turn on is going to be your passive dribble hand switches. You need to make sure you go in and turn this off because it can create random dribble moves when standing still. And when you're playing point guard, every dribble is going to count, especially with a lockdown defender in front of you. So make sure you go in and have the setting off. And another great setting you're going to turn off as well is your auto lob moving receiver. When using this setting, it's going to throw terrible passes. And as a point guard on NBA 2K26, it's going to be very important for your passes to be on point to your lock or center. So make sure you're going to turn this off as well. Now, next up, we're going to be talking about something that's going to be very important for any point guard on NBA 2K26. We're going to be talking about the best motion styles in the game for small and tall point guards. Now, throughout NBA 2K26, I've always said to use Jalen Suggs or Kyrie Irving. As you can see right here in a chart from NBA 2K2s, the best motion style on offense is going to be Donovan Mitchell, and the best motion style on defense is going to be Marcus Smart. But overall, the best motion style in the game is going to be Donovan Mitchell. As you can see, it's going to be number 1 for offense and number 3 for defense. And there's going to be no motion style that's in the top 3 for both. So make sure if you're a small point guard, they're using Donovan Mitchell's motion style. And right here for all my tall point guards, 6'5" to 6'9", the best motion style on offense for a tall point guard is going to be Alex Caruso. And the best one on defense is going to be Jalen Smith and Herbert Jones. And I would say the two best motion styles are going to give you the best of both worlds for a tall point guard. It's going to be Jalen Suggs and Jalen Smith. As you can see, they're both going to be rated very high for offense and defense. So go ahead and make sure you're using the right motion style, as it can be very important on any build in NBA 2K26. Now, another very important thing I want to talk about for all guards in NBA 2K26 is something to do with your hands rating. Now, your hands rating is basically going to be your highest playmaking attribute. And with your hands being even higher, you're going to get better gathers and even better catch and shoots. And those better gathers are going to lead to even better quick stops as well. Now, when 2K2s did go ahead and do their hands rating test, they already said it's not going to be too big of a deal. It's not going to be game breaking. So you're not going to need to worry about making a whole other build. Just to, for example, up your ball handle to a 98 so you can get a 98 hands rating. It's not going to be that big of a difference, but I did think it was worth mentioning. Now, another very important thing we're going to talk about is getting your lethal zones on NBA 2K26. As a point guard, it's going to be very important to get the highest green window possible. And as you can see right here in a graph from NBA2KLabs.com, when shooting with a regular red hot zone, you're going to have a 61 make percentage throughout your green window. But now once you get your lethal zones, you're going to get a 4% boost. And that is now going to give us a 65% make percentage throughout our green window. And you may be wondering, where do you even get your lethal zones at? And we're going to go to the Art of Shooting gym. Now, when you walk into the Art of Shooting gym, you're going to see Lethal Shooter with a black and white t-shirt on. And he's going to have a logo above his head. You're going to walk up to him, press A, and you're going to be given 3 options. 1 week for 1 lethal zone, 2 weeks for 2 different lethal zones, and 3 weeks for 3 lethal zones. And you're always going to go in and pick the 3-week option. Now, we are going to have to shoot against Lethal Shooter, but it's going to be very easy. And don't worry if you mess up while shooting against Lethal Shooter. You can always dashboard and come right back in and try again. So make sure you go to the Art of Shooting gym and you do your lethal zones. Now, another very important gameplay tip that every guard needs to know about in NBA 2K26 is how shooting standstill shots is going to be very important on this game. From Season 1 leading into Season 2, they did nerf fading a ton. If you guys remember, in Season 1, fading was one of the best things that you can do on the game. And anyone can really fade from anywhere on the court. But now in Season 2 of NBA 2K26, they have finally nerfed fading all the way down to the ground. To the point, if you're a point guard or playing any other position on the game, you should not be fading at all. The only time you should be doing any fade is from the mid-range. But when you're hunting for threes as a point guard, it's going to be very important to learn how to quick stop and peek. And later on in the video, we'll be teaching you guys how to quick stop and peek and how to master it. So make sure you guys watch right until the end of the video. Now, another very important thing I wanted to go ahead and talk about is how rhythm shooting got nerfed going into Season 2. 2. Now, if you guys remember in season 1, rhythm shooting had a 2 times bigger green window than button shooter, and basically anyone can rhythm shoot and green every shot. But now in season 2, as you can see from a graph from NBA2KLabs.com, you can see the green window before and after patch, and how there's going to be a lot more red on the graph. So there's going to be a lot less room for margin of error. So if you are having trouble as a point guard rhythm shooting, you can always go ahead and try button shooting as well. Now, another very important tip that every guard needs to do on NBA 2K26 is doing your weekly workouts. Now, whenever you get a perfect weekly workout, you're going to get an extra bar of Gatorade, and that extra bar of Gatorade is going to be very, very important, because the more stamina you have as a point guard, the better. And right here, I'm going to go ahead and give you the 4 easiest workouts to go ahead and get a perfect workout every week. You want to go and do the punching bag, squats, the box jump, and the agility ladder, and that should go ahead and give you a perfect workout every week. Now, another very important thing to go ahead and get as well is Workout Warrior. Now, in order to go ahead and get Workout Warrior, you do need to complete every workout in the gym, and all you have to do is get 1 star on each workout. And once you get Workout Warrior, you're never going to have to do another workout ever again. You're going to unlock every body type for every build you play on. You're going to have 99 stamina. You're also going to get a permanent extra bar of Gatorade. So make sure you go to the Gatorade gym and do your weekly workouts, or try to get Workout Warrior. Now, another very important tip that every guard needs to do on NBA 2K26 is to always buy jump shot boost and Gatorade. It's been known in many 2Ks now, whenever you buy jump shot boost, you're going to get a nice boost to your green window. And the reason you always want to buy Gatorade is because, like I mentioned before, with your weekly workouts, you're going to get an extra bar of Gatorade. And now whenever you buy Gatorade, on top of that extra weekly workout bar of Gatorade, you're going to get a double bar of Gatorade, which is going to help with your stamina a ton. And the 2 Gatorades you want to go in and buy is Muscle Milk and Thirst Quencher. With Gatorade Muscle Milk, it's going to make sure your stamina is not going down too quickly, and Gatorade Thirst Quencher is going to give you that extra bar of stamina. So make sure you're always buying jump shot boost and Gatorade. Now, getting into my brand new point guard build, you're going to go position point guard, height 6'1", weight 178, and wingspan 6'2". Now let's go ahead and break down the build. You want to go with a 69 close shot, a 75 driving layup, an 83 driving dunk, a 26 standing dunk, and a 30 post control, with an 83 driving dunk and a 63 vertical. We're only going to get posterizer on bronze, and for right now, we're not going to get any good dunk packages, and we're not going to get contact dunks either. But that is going to go ahead and change once we use some of our cab breakers. We're going to use 1 cab breaker on our driving dunk to move it from an 83 up to an 87. And with my vertical, I'm going to use 3 cab breakers to move it from a 63 up to a 75. And now once we have our 87 driving dunk and our 75 vertical, we're going to get posterizer on silver. And we're also going to unlock all the good dunk packages in the game, and we're going to get contact dunks as well. Now right here, moving on to our shooting, you want to go with an 84 mid-range, a 94 3-pointer, and a 69 free throw. With my 94 3-pointer, we're going to use 5 cab breakers to move it up to a 99. And by us getting that 99 3-pointer, we're going to get all 5 of our shooting badges on legend. And whenever you're going for a 99 3-pointer, make sure you're not using your shooting build specialization, because with the 99 3-pointer, like I said already, you're going to get all your shooting badges on legend. But the build specialization you do want to go ahead and use is playmaking. Now let's go ahead and move on to our playmaking so I can break it down. Now moving on to my playmaking, you want to go with a 94 pass accuracy, a 90 ball handle, and a 90 speed with ball. Now with our playmaking build specialization, we're going to get 2 cab breakers, a max +1 and a max +2 that we can use on any playmaking stat. We're going to get dimer and break starter on Hall of Fame, and we're going to get bailout and versatile visionary on gold. Now before I go any further, I'm going to tell you guys why I like going with the high pass accuracy. People do love to double team and trapper you as a point guard, and I notice whenever the other team puts you in a trapper animation, whenever you try to pass out of it, bailout is going to pop up. That means the higher you have bailout, that trapper is going to be really non-existent, because you're going to be able to pass the ball out to your center or lock very quickly. And another great thing we're going to get with our 94 pass accuracy, we're going to have the option of going all the way up to a 99 pass accuracy in the future with 5 cab breakers, but I will go ahead and break that down in a future video. But for right now, let's go ahead and get back to breaking down our playmaking build specialization and our playmaking stats. With my 94 pass accuracy, I'm going to go and use the 2 cab breakers that we get from our build specialization to move it up to a 96 pass accuracy. And with our 96 pass accuracy, I'm going to get bailout and versatile visionary on Hall of Fame, but thus getting all of our playmaking passing badges on Hall of Fame with that 96 pass accuracy. We're now going to use our crew max +1 tier 2 and move our dimer from Hall of Fame up to legend, and then we're going to use our regular max +1 tier 2 that we get from our battle pass and move our break starter from Hall of Fame up to legend as well. And we're going to use our max +1 that we get from our playmaking specialization to move our bailout from Hall of Fame up to legend. Now coming down here to a very important stat, my 90 ball handle. On any small point guard build, you're going to need a 92 ball handle, because at a 92 ball handle, that is when you're going to unlock every good dribble move in the game. So we're going to use 2 regular cab breakers to move our ball handle from a 90 up to a 92. And once we get that 92 ball handle, we're going to get handles for days on gold, move it from gold up to legend, and that's going to be great for me because I love to dribble. And coming down here to my 90 speed with ball, I usually always have my speed with ball at a 91, but if we go down to a 90 and then use 1 cab breaker to move it up to a 91, we're going to save a lot more attributes that we can put elsewhere on the build. And after we use that one cap breaker on our 91 speed with ball. We're gonna have lightning launch on Hall of Fame. Then we're gonna use our tier 1 max +1 to move it from Hall of Fame up to legend. Now moving on to our defense, you want to go with a 45 interior and 84 perimeter defense and 85 steal and a 57 block. Now right here with my 84 perimeter defense, I'm gonna get challenger on silver, and having challenger on silver is not gonna be bad at all, but we're gonna need to get it to gold, and it's gonna be very important to go with an 84 perimeter defense, because at an 84 perimeter defense, you're gonna be able to use 5 cap breakers to move it up to a 92, and with a 92 perimeter defense, you're gonna get challenger on gold. And then now we can go ahead and use our tier 1 max +2, move our challenger from gold up to legend. And if you're wondering what we're gonna do with our tier 2 max +2, you're gonna go ahead and use it on slippery off ball to move it from gold up to legend as well. And right here, coming down to my 85 steal, we're gonna get glove on silver and interceptor on gold. And once you move your perimeter defense from an 84 up to a 92 and get your challenger on gold and max +2 it up to legend, you could also, instead of max +2ing your challenger up to legend, use it on your gold interceptor to move it up to legend as well. But for right now, we're gonna use our crew tier 1 max +1 to move our interceptor from gold up to Hall of Fame. And to go ahead and finish off the build, you want to go with a 90 speed and 84 agility, a 39 strength, and a 63 vertical. And I know a lot of you guys were saying on my other build that an 80 agility is way too low. Should be a lot quicker, as we're gonna unlock Jalen Suggs motion stop. And right here, when you finish off the build, it's gonna be insane. We're gonna get shades of prime Stephen Curry and prime Chris Paul. And this is gonna be a build name I haven't seen before. Our build name is gonna be a thieving inside out playmaker. And as you can see, we're gonna have no big weaknesses to report. Now right here, getting into my brand new 6'4" point guard build, you're gonna go position point guard, height 6'4", weight 201, and wingspan 6'5". Now right here, starting off with our finishing, you want to go with a 68 close shot, a 75 driving layup, and 83 driving dunk, a 31 standing dunk, and a 40 post control. Now with our 83 driving dunk and our 80 vertical, we're gonna get posterizer on bronze. But when making a 6'4" point guard, your goal is to get a 98 3-pointer and a 93 driving dunk. So with our 83 driving dunk on this build, we're gonna use 3 cap breakers to go from an 83 up to a 93 driving dunk. And you may be wondering, how are we only gonna use 3 cap breakers and go from an 83 up to a 93 driving dunk? And that's because in NBA 2K26, you can use 1 cap breaker and can be worth up to 2 or more attribute points at once. So with the way I made this build, 1 cap breaker is gonna be a +4, another one's gonna be a +3, and another one is going to be a +3 as well. And that is going to go ahead and give us our 93 driving dunk. And also with our 93 driving dunk, we're going to get posterizer on gold, and we're going to unlock contact dunks as well. Now moving on to our shooting, you want to go with an 83 mid-range, a 93 3-pointer, and a 68 free throw. Now on all my point guard builds, I'm always going to pick the shooting specialization, unless I'm going for a 99 3-pointer. On this build, we're not going to be able to get a 99 3-pointer, so we're going to use our shooting build specialization. And in our shooting specialization, we're going to get a max +1, a max +2, and 2 cap breakers that we can use on any shooting stat. So with our 93 3-pointer, we're gonna go ahead and use 3 cap breakers to move it up to a 96, and then we're gonna use our 2 cap breakers that we get from our shooting build specialization to move our 3-pointer up from a 96 up to a 98 3-pointer. Now with the 98 3-pointer, we're gonna get all our shooting badges on Hall of Fame, except for 1 badge, which is gonna be set shot on legend. But the goal here is to get all our shooting badges on legend. And like I mentioned before, we're gonna get a max +1 and a max +2 that we do get from our shooting build specialization. So we're gonna go ahead and use our max +1 on shifty shooter to move it from Hall of Fame up to legend. And we're gonna use our max +2 on limitless range to move it from Hall of Fame up to legend as well. And we're still gonna need Deadeye to be on legend. So we're now gonna go ahead and use our crew tier 1 max +1 on Deadeye to move it from Hall of Fame up to legend as well. Now moving on to our playmaking, you want to go with the 71 pass accuracy, a 90 ball handle, and an 86 speed with ball. With our 71 pass accuracy, we're gonna get dimer on silver. But we're now gonna go ahead and use our tier 2 max +2 that we get from our battle pass to go ahead and move our dimer from silver up to Hall of Fame. Now coming down here to our 90 ball handle. A 90 ball handle on a small point guard is not going to be too bad at all, but we're going to need that 92 ball handle, especially on a small point guard if you want all the good dribble moves. So we're now going to use 2 cap breakers to move our ball handle from a 90 up to a 92. And with our 86 speed with ball, we're going to get lightning launch on goal. And when using any small point guard, you're not going to want lightning launch on goal. You always want it on legend. So we're now going to go ahead and use our tier 1 max +2 to move our lightning launch from gold up to legend. Now moving on to our defense. defense. I've showed you guys a bunch of different 6'4s in the past, and when making this build, I was very surprised to get this much defense on the build. We're gonna have a 71 interior, a 90 perimeter defense, an 85 steal, and a 62 block. With the 71 interior defense on a 6'4, no one is gonna be able to score on you in the paint if you do have good position. And if you think a 71 interior is gonna be way too high, I do have another version of the build where I put down my interior and put up my strength instead. Now moving down to our 90 perimeter defense. A 90 perimeter defense is only going to give us challenger on silver, but we're going to want challenger to be on gold and eventually on Hall of Fame. So we're going to use one cap breaker to move our perimeter defense from a 90 up to a 92. And like I said before, one cap breaker can move an attribute up by +2 or more. But now with our perimeter defense being at a 92, we're going to unlock challenger on gold. But with the perimeter defense on this build, your perimeter defense is going to cap out at a 96. And with the 96 perimeter defense, you're going to get on-ball menace on Hall of Fame and challenger on Hall of Fame as well. And that's why when you do get 2 more cap breakers, you're going to use it on your perimeter defense to go up to a 95 perimeter. And like I said, with the 95 perimeter defense, you're going to get challenger on Hall of Fame, but we're now going to use a tier 1 max +1 to move our challenger from Hall of Fame up to legend. You're going to need 1 more cap breaker to move your perimeter defense up to a 96 so you can get on-ball menace on Hall of Fame. And coming down here to our 85 steal. Now, as you guys may know, in NBA 2K26, a lot of people are going with a very low steal. But in season 2, mycm already said that he's planning to buff steals. So by having an 85 steal, you're not going to have to remake your build at all. When steals do get buffed, you're going to be able to still have glove on silver and interceptor on gold. And coming down here to our 62 block. This is going to be very important for any point guard build on NBA 2K26. You always want to make sure you're maxing out your block because jumping at your defender is going to give you even better contests. And being on a 6'4 with legend challenger and a high block, you're going to be able to contest a lot of shots. So make sure you go ahead and max out your block. And to go ahead and finish off the build, you want to go with an 86 speed and 83 agility, a 51 strength and an 80 vertical. Now getting into my brand new 6'8 unpatchable demigod build. You're going to go position shooting guard, height 6'8, weight 199, and wingspan 6'8 as well. Now right here, let's go ahead and break down the build and make sure you guys are paying close attention. For my finishing, you want to go with a 76 close shot, a 64 driving layup, an 84 driving dunk, a 44 standing dunk, and a 55 post control. Now with my 84 driving dunk and my 78 vertical, we're going to get posterizer on bronze. But in order to get posterizer on silver, we're going to need an 87 driving dunk and a 75 vertical in order to get our posterizer on silver, and for us to get contact dunks. But if we want all of our contact dunks, we're going to need an 89 driving dunk. So with our 84 driving dunk, I'm going to go ahead and use 5 cap breakers to move it up to an 89. And you need to remember, when I'm breaking down all the cap breakers in this video, I'm breaking them all down so you guys can see the max potential of this build. But let's say you don't have 5 cap breakers right now, and 84 driving dunk is going to be perfectly fine because you're still going to unlock all the good dunk packages in the game, like Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and even Devin Booker's dunk package as well. And one more thing to mention as well, with our 44 standing dunk, you're going to need a 40 standing dunk in order to even unlock LeBron's dunk package. So make sure if you tweak the build in any way that you keep that 40 standing dunk. Now moving on to our shooting, you want to go with a 91 mid-range, an 89 three-pointer, and a 66 free throw. With our 91 mid-range and our 89 three-pointer, that's going to give us decent shooting badges. But we're going to want our shooting badges to be even better. And to do that, we're going to need to pick our shooting build specialization and use some more cap breakers as well. And if you guys didn't know already, in our shooting build specialization, we're going to get a max +1, a max +2, and 2 cap breakers that we can use on our shooting stats. So with our 91 mid-range, I'm going to go ahead and use 3 regular cap breakers and the 2 cap breakers that we get from our shooting build specialization to go ahead and move it up to a 96 mid-range. And with our 96 mid-range, I'm going to go ahead and get all my shooting badges on Hall of Fame. And before I tell you where to use your max +1 and max +2 that we get from our shooting build specialization, we're going to need to use 1 more cap breaker on our 3-pointer to move it from an 89 up to a 93 pointer. And you may be wondering, why do we need a 93 pointer? That 93 pointer is going to give us the ability to unlock deep bomber takeover ability, which is going to be very overpowered on a 6'8 point guard build. Now here's where we're going to use our max +1 and max +2 that we get from our shooting build specialization. Our limitless range is going to be on silver, so we're going to use our max +2 to move it from silver up to Hall of Fame. And with our max +1, we're going to use it on set shot specialist to move it from Hall of Fame up to legend. And we're still going to have 2 of our shooting badges on Hall of Fame, so we're going to go and use our crew tier 1 max +1 on Deadeye to move it from Hall of Fame up to legend. And with our regular tier 1 max +1 that we get from our battle pass, there's going to be a ton of different options that I'm going to give you that you can use it on. But one of those great options is going to be on shifty shooter to move it from Hall of Fame up to legend. And that's going to go ahead and give us legend and Hall of Fame shooting badges on our 6'8 point guard build. Now moving on to our playmaking, I know you guys may be very confused about the low ball handle and the low speed with ball, but I'm going to go ahead and break it down right now. First, starting off with our 82 pass accuracy, we're going to get dimer on gold. And having dimer on gold is going to be nice on a 6'8 point guard build. But we can go ahead and move it up to legend with our tier 2 max plus 2. And just like I said before with my tier 1 max plus 1, there's going to be a ton of different options I'm going to give you with each badge max perk. And with our tier 2 max plus 2, dimer on legend is going to be one of them. Now coming down here to my 66 ball hand. If you guys didn't know already, in NBA 2K26, each one cap breaker can be valued by +1 or more. And in this case, on my 6'8 point guard build, we're going to go ahead and use 5 cap breakers to move our ball handle from a 66 up to an 86 ball handle. So as you can see, only with 5 cap breakers, we're going to move our ball handle up by +20. And that 86 ball handle is going to be very important, because with an 86 ball handle, you're going to unlock all the good dribble moves on a 6'8 point guard build. And right here, another great option that you can use your tier 1 max plus 1 on is going to be handles for days. Now I do like to dribble a lot, so if you want your handles for days to be on silver or gold, that's going to be completely up to your playstyle and up to you. And coming down here to our 70 speed with ball. With the 70 speed with ball, we're going to get lightning launch on bronze. And we're going to need a 75 speed with ball in order to get our lightning launch on silver. So we're going to go ahead and use 1 cap breaker to move our speed with ball from a 70 up to a 75. And yes, that 1 cap breaker is going to be worth a +5. Now once we have our 75 speed with ball, we're going to get lightning launch on silver. And lightning launch on a tall point guard compared to a small point guard is going to be a tier 2 instead of a tier 1 badge. So we're going to use our tier 2 max plus 1 to move our lightning launch from silver up to gold. And you guys may ask, why don't we use our tier 2 max plus 2 to move our lightning launch from silver up to Hall of Fame instead of up to gold? And that's because gold and Hall of Fame lightning launch aren't going to see much of a difference. So make sure you don't make that mistake. Now moving on to our defense, you want to go with a 68 interior and 92 perimeter defense, a 62 steal, and a 75 block. Now the reason why I went with the 68 interior defense is because we're going to get paint patroller on bronze, and that can be very helpful on a 6'8 point guard build. Now moving on to my 92 perimeter defense. With our 92 perimeter defense, we're going to get challenger on gold. And with us having challenger on gold, we're going to use our tier 1 max plus 2 to move our challenger up to legend. And legend challenger on a 6'8 point guard build is going to be absolutely insane. Now right here, coming down to my 62 steal. As you guys may know already, in the recent patch 2K just put out, steals are absolutely broken. You can get a steal by standing right in front of somebody. But I do have a feeling they are going to change it very soon. And even if they do go ahead and change it, a 62 steal should just be fine. And with my 75 block, we're going to get high flying denier on bronze. But besides getting high flying denier on bronze, it's going to be important to have a high block, because recently NBA 2K Labs just did a test showing that having a high block and jumping area defender is going to be way more important. Now moving on over here to our rebound, you're going to have a 45 offensive rebound and a 65 defensive rebound. And with our rebounding stats, we're going to get rebound chaser on bronze and box out beast on bronze as well. Now coming over here to our physicals, you want to go with an 86 speed and an 83 agility. And this is going to be very important, especially on a 6'8 point guard build, because we're going to unlock the fastest motion style in the game, being Jalen Suggs. And coming down here to our 85 strength, we're going to be able to get strong handle on Hall of Fame, and we're going to get a movable enforcer on gold and brick wall on silver as well. Now like I was talking about earlier, with all the options that we have with our max plus 1s and max plus 2s, we can go and use our tier 1 max plus 1 to move our strong handle from Hall of Fame up to legend. And we can even use our tier 2 max plus 2 to move our movable enforcer up to legend. And I didn't even mention that you can +2 your brick wall up to Hall of Fame as well if you want to even set screens for another point guard. And finally, we're going to finish it off with our 78 vertical. Now as you guys seen at the start of the video, I did hit starter 4, and when you hit starter 4, you finally unlock Patrick Mills. And this has been one of the best jump shots in every 2K for a while now, since about NBA 2K24. So with my Patrick Mills jump shot, you want to go Patrick Mills, Colin Sexton, and Darius Garland. You want to go 42% Darius Garland and 58% Colin Sexton. You always want to go max release speed. And for my visual cue, you want to go 3 ticks right behind push. Now right here, this is going to be my main jump shot I was using right before Patty Mills, and that is going to be Miles McBride base. So you're going to go Miles McBride, Derek White, and Colin Sexton. You want to go 36% Derek White and 64% Colin Sexton. We're always going to go max speed, and for my visual cue, you want to go 3 ticks right behind push. Now next up, we have another great jump shot that people have been using since NBA 2K25. You're going to go Cam Thomas, Beluba, and Colin Sexton. For my jump shot blending, you want to go 19% Beluba and 81% Colin Sexton. You want to go max release speed, and for my visual cue, you want to go 3 ticks right behind push. Now right here, moving on to another very good jump shot. We're going to be using Stephen Curry's base, and Stephen Curry's base is going to be one of the most popular jump shots in the game right now. So you're going to go Stephen Curry, Darius Garland, and Beluba. You want to go 36% Darius Garland and 64% Beluba. For my release speed, you want to go max speed, and for my visual cue, you want to go 3 ticks right behind push. Now right here, moving on to another very popular jump shot in NBA 2K26. We're going to be be using Quentin Grimes base. So you're gonna go Quentin Grimes, Stephen Curry, and Colin Sexton. For my jump shot blending, you wanna go 52% Stephen Curry and 48% Colin Sexton. You wanna go max release speed, and for my visual cue, you wanna go 3 ticks right behind push. Now for my very first jump shot for my tall point guards, you wanna go Ray Allen, RJ Barrett, and Jalen Bridges. Now this Ray Allen jump shot is going to be my main jump shot that I use on all my tall point guards. For my jump shot blending, you want to go 36% RJ Barrett and 64% Jalen Bridges. You want to go max release speed, and for my visual cue, you want to go 3 ticks right behind push. Next up right here, we have a very popular base going around the NBA 2K community. Tall and even small guards use this as well, and that is going to be Quentin Grimes base. So for my jump shot, you want to go Quentin Grimes, Julian Champagnie, and Jalen Bridges once again. And I'm telling you, you need to go ahead and try out Jalen Bridges' release and blend it in with your own jump shot. And for my jump shot blending, you want to go 33% Julian and 67% Jalen Bridges. You're going to go max release speed, and for my visual cue, you want to go 3 ticks right behind push. Now moving on to our third jump shot, you want to go base Bogdan Bogdanovic and release 1 and 2 Jalen Bridges and Dylan Brooks. This was my very first jump shot I ever used. So trust me, Bogdan Bogdanovic's base is very quick and easy to time. For my jump shot blending, you want to go 70% Jalen Bridges and 30% Dylan Brooks. You're going to go max release speed, and for my visual cue, you want to go 3 ticks right behind push. And finally, moving on over here to another very popular jump shot throughout the NBA 2K community, and that's going to be Matt Ryan's base. Now, Matt Ryan's jump shot may not be one of my favorite bases, but it's still a very good base to go ahead and use. You're going to go Matt Ryan, Jalen Bridges, and Beluba. For my jump shot blending, you want to go 60% Jalen Bridges and 40% Beluba. You're going to go max release speed, and for my visual cue, once again, I like to go 3 ticks right behind push. Now before we get right into my dribble tutorial, here are the best sigs for my tall and small point guards. Now let's go in and get right into it. Now our first move we're going to be learning how to do today is how to activate our quick stop. Quick stopping is going to be very important for any point guard on NBA 2K26, as they went ahead and nerf fading in season 1, so quick stopping and standstill shots are going to be even more important. And all you want to go in and do to activate quick stop is flick up on your right stick and shoot the ball right away. Again, as soon as you think you're wide open, you're going to flick up on your right stick and shoot the ball right away. Now next we're going to be learning another very important move in the L2 cancel. Whenever you're playing point guard, it doesn't matter if you're on a tall or a small point guard. Learning how to L2 cancel is going to give you that extra movement to get wide open. So now let's go ahead and break down how to do it. Now the 2 moves we're going to be using is our escape and our quick stop. Now to go ahead and activate an escape, ball in my left hand, I'm going to hold turbo. Then I'm going to flick top right with my right stick. And ball in my right hand, I'm going to hold turbo and flick top left with my right stick just like that. Now after you go ahead and do an escape, you want to run out of it just like that right there. Then as soon as you run out of your escape, you want to flick up on your right stick. And when you go ahead and flick up on your right stick, it should give you that move right there. And that's going to be our quick stop animation. Now after you go ahead and flick up on your right stick, you're going to go ahead and do an escape going back the other way just like that right there. So ball in my left hand, I'm going to do an escape going to the right. I'm going to run out of it, flick up on my right stick, then do an escape going back to the left. And ball in my right hand, I'm going to do an escape going to my left, then flick up on my right stick and do an escape going back to my right. And now after that, once you do get used to it, you can go ahead and spam it back and forth just like this right here. So make sure you go ahead and get down your L2 cancel. Now next up, we're going to be learning how to activate our Devin Booker cancel just like this right here. All you're going to do, you're going to be running and flick up down your right stick just like that. Again, you're going to be running flick up down your right stick just like that and follow with your left stick in the other direction. One more time, you're going to be running flick up down your right stick and run out of it in the other direction. And when you do get your Devin Booker cancel down, you can actually add it in with your L2 cancel just like this right here to make for some good movement. So make sure you get down your Devin Booker cancel. Now next we're going to be learning another very important move in the push peek just like this right here. This is going to be a great move to go in and do if you're coming up the court and you see a little opening with the lock and center playing sides. And just a great move to go in and catch your defender off guard as well. Now our first step in order to activate our push peek is going to be learning how to activate our blowout dribble. Now to activate your blowout dribble, you're going to be running and flick up on your right stick just like that. Again, you're going to be running and flick up on your right stick just like that. Now when activating your push peek, you need to make sure you're not doing your push peek going straight up the middle. You have to activate on an angle going to the left or right side of the court. Now right after you activate your blowout dribble, if I do it going to my right, I'm going to hold down bottom left with my right stick and shoot the ball. And if I do it going to my left, I'm going to hold down bottom right with my right stick. And yes, when you are doing your push peek, you do have to shoot with your stick by holding down bottom left or bottom right. So make sure you're going to get this move down. Now next up, we're going to be learning how to activate our push crossover. You can go ahead and either use Lonzo Ball or De'Aaron Fox's crossover. And all you're going to be doing, ball in my left hand, I'm going to be running flick top right with my right stick just like that. And ball in my right hand, I'm going to be running then flick top left with my right stick just like that. Now your push crossover is going to be a great move to use when coming up the the court, and could be another great move to get past your defender for an easy 2. So make sure you're going to get this move down, as it is very important. Now next up, we're going to be learning how to activate our offset slide. This has been a great move in the game since NBA 2K22 and can be used to combo out of and even crab your defender as well. To go ahead and activate the offset slide, you want to make sure you're using Zach LaVine's hop jumper. You want the ball to be in your non-dominant hand. My player's dominant hand is going to be his right hand, so I want the ball to be in my left hand while running up the court. Then when you're running up the court, you want to hold your right stick to your dominant hand. Again, you're going to be running and hold your right stick to your dominant hand. Now next up, we're going to be learning how to activate our momentum spam. Now to go ahead and activate your momentum, first you want to go ahead and flick up on your right stick just like that to go ahead and give you that in and out move. And right after you flick up on your right stick without holding turbo, you're going to hold turbo and run towards the opposite ball hand. Again, flick up on your right stick, hold turbo and run towards the opposite ball hand. On my left hand, I'm going to flick up on my right stick, and I'm going to hold turbo and run top right with my left stick. So up on my right stick, hold turbo and run top right with my left stick. And ball on my right hand, I'm going to flick up on my right stick without holding turbo. Then I'm going to hold turbo and run top left just like that. And now you want to go ahead and spam it back and forth just like this right here. Now the only time I really use my momentum spam is when I'm doing my combos. You can also go ahead and use your momentum spam in the middle of your L2 cancel just like this right here. Back in momentum, back to L2 cancel, then peak just like that. So make sure you go ahead and get your momentum spam down. Now next up, we're going to be learning how to activate our escape spam. This is going to be a very easy move to go ahead and activate. All you're going to do, you're going to hold turbo and flick your right stick top right and top left over and over just like this right here to give you that escape spam. Now your escape spam can be used in many different ways. You can go ahead and use it in the middle of your L2 cancels just like this right here, and keep L2 canceling and go into a peak. You can use it to crab a defender as well if you do it at a very slow pace just like this right here. And you can use it as a move when coming up the court just like this, as just a quick little combo, and keep comboing just like that. Your escape spam and then go into a little peak. So make sure you go in and get your escape spam down. Next up, we're going to be learning how to activate our Chadmar slide. Once again, you want to make sure you have on Zach LaVine's hop jumper. You want to be running towards your dominant hand and hold down bottom right just like this right here. And if your dominant hand's your left hand, you want to hold down bottom left just like that right there. Again, running bottom left. And I would say this can be a great move to use when ISOing in NBA 2K26. You can do a quick Chadmar slide, then go in for an easy 2 just like that right there. Or if you want to go in an L2 cancel out of it just like this right here, you can do that as well, right into a peak. So make sure you go ahead and get your Chadmar slide down. Now next up, we're going to be learning how to activate our explosive behind the back. When using Trae Young's behind the back and a lot of other good behind the backs in NBA 2K26, you're not going to get a good standing behind the back like you would with Stephen Curry. So you're going to have to learn how to do your explosive behind the back. And all you're going to do to go ahead and activate your explosive behind the back, on my right hand, I'm going to hold turbo. I'm going to flick bottom left with my right and left stick at one time, just like that. And ball in my left hand, I'm going to hold turbo. I'm going to flick bottom right with my right and left stick at one time, just like that. Your explosive behind the back is going to be a great move to use in your combos all the time. You can also go in and do it while you're L2 canceling as well, just like this right here. Down, back into another one, come back out, L2 cancel again, go into a peak. And you can also use it as a driving move when going to the basket. As you can see, it's going to give you that boost going forward. So you can do one explosive behind the back, then go right into an easy 2. So make sure you go in and get your explosive behind the back down. Next up, we're going to be learning how to activate our aggressive breakdown combo. All you're going to do to activate your breakdown combo, you're going to hold turbo and flick up on your right stick. Again, hold turbo and flick up on your right stick. Now with your Devin Booker breakdown combo, this can be a great move to go in and use if you want to crab a defender just like that right there and shoot off of them. It can be great on the ISO as well, because if you want to do one Devin Booker into a dunk, you can. As you can see, we're going to Devin Booker straight into a dunk. And finally, it's going to be great in combos as well. As you can see, you can do a Devin Booker straight into a Chadmar slide. And all you're going to do, you're going to hold turbo, flick up on your right stick, and hold down bottom right with your right stick as well. So we're going to Devin Booker straight into our Chadmar slide just like that. So go ahead and make sure you get this move down. Now next up, we're going to be learning how to activate our Curry behind the back spam. Now to go ahead and activate your Curry behind the back spam, ball in my right hand, I'm going to hold turbo. I'm going to flick bottom left with my right stick just like that. And ball in my left hand, I'm going to hold turbo. I'm going to flick bottom right with my right stick just like that. Now all you're going to do is spam it back and forth just like this right here. Now Stephen Curry's behind the back spam can be used in many different ways. It can be used when L2 canceling just like this right here, Curry, back into a L2 cancel, Curry, and then shoot. You can go in and also shoot right off your Curry behind the back spam just like that. And it can be great in your combos when coming up the court just like this right here, L2, Curry, and I can go and shoot the ball just like that. So make sure you go in and get your Curry behind the back spam down. Now next up, we're going to be learning how to activate our chopper slide. All you're going to be doing, you're going to be running, flick down your right stick, running, flick down your right stick and run out of it, flick down, run out of it just like that. And I like to go ahead and call this move a fake L2 cancel as well, because you're able to go left and right very fast. This can be a very effective move in game as well. As you can see, I could do one chop aside just like that, and then go right into a peek, or I can do a chop aside, cross my defender out, and go right in for an easy 2. So make sure you go and get this move down. Next up, we're going to be learning how to activate our Devin Booker step back cancel. Now with this Devin Booker step back cancel, we're going to be using our left stick and our right stick at the same time. So first, you want to go and activate a Devin Booker step back by holding turbo and flicking down on your right stick. Then after each Devin Booker step back, you want to flick up on your left stick over and over again, just like this right here. You can also hold up on your left stick and do your Devin Booker snatchback over and over. Now this can be a great move to go in and use your combos while coming up the court, just like this right here. Bam, just like that. I come up the court, start my L2 cancel, go into a Devin Booker just like that, and go into a quick peek. So make sure you go in and get this move down.